Have you ever walked past a tent city under a freeway and wondered, how did we get here? What's happening in this country where working full-time still lands you on the streets? It's a question that haunts so many of us. The answer is complex, but the truth is glaring. Across America, poverty is creeping deeper into communities, housing is becoming more unattainable, and shelters are overflowing. This isn't just happening in a handful of cities anymore, it's spreading fast. States once seen as symbols of prosperity are now on the brink of collapse. Picture this, entire states crumbling under the weight of escalating rents, increasing poverty, and the relentless pressure of natural disasters. The dream of upward mobility that once defined America is slipping through the cracks. So, how did we get here? Let's take a look at the states where the poverty and homelessness crisis is spiraling out of control. Number 10, California. California often paints the picture of paradise. Its palm trees, sun-kissed beaches, and billion-dollar homes make it a place of dreams. But venture off the scenic routes, and you'll be confronted by a stark reality. Streets lined with tents, people sleeping in cars, sidewalks transformed into makeshift shelters. This is California's growing homelessness crisis. With more than 187,000 homeless individuals and the number still rising, California now has the highest homeless population in the country. What's shocking is how many of these people are employed, have children, or even hold college degrees. In cities like San Francisco, median rents have reached nearly $3,000 a month, turning housing into a luxury, not a right. The problem isn't confined to major cities either. Small towns are struggling too. The state's soaring housing costs, coupled with a widening economic divide, have made it increasingly difficult for people to afford to live here. Once the heart of the American dream, California is now a state where more people are fleeing than moving in. The question remains, if one of the wealthiest economies on earth can't fix this, who can? Number 9, New York. When you think of New York, skyscrapers, Broadway lights, and dreams coming true probably come to mind. But beneath the glittering surface, there's a crisis unfolding. In 2023, homelessness surged by 18%, with over 100,000 people living without homes in New York City alone. More people are sleeping on subways, crammed into shelters, or stuck in emergency hotels. New York's skyrocketing rents, lack of affordable housing, and overwhelmed shelter system are fueling this crisis. You would expect a place with such immense wealth and influence to have solutions, but instead, cracks are widening. The weight of the problem grows heavier with each passing day. How long can the system sustain itself before the pressure becomes too much? The situation in New York is a stark reminder that even the most powerful cities can fail to address the needs of their most vulnerable populations. Number 8, Florida. Florida is often seen as a dream destination, white sand beaches, palm trees, and endless sunshine. But beyond the postcard-perfect images lies a disturbing truth: many older Americans are becoming homeless in Florida. Shockingly, many seniors in their 60s and 70s are living in cars, motels, or even on the streets. The issue is rooted in skyrocketing rents, particularly in cities like Miami, where median rent is well over $2,500 a month. Meanwhile, the average monthly Social Security check is just above $1,800. This disparity is pushing even those who spent their lives working hard into homelessness. It's not just the elderly who are struggling. Families with children are also feeling the strain. In cities like Orlando and Tampa, evictions have spiked, and affordable housing is nearly impossible to find. New construction simply isn't keeping up with demand, and waitlists for assistance stretch for years. Florida's booming tourism and development are not helping regular residents, especially those on fixed incomes or low wages. The state's large service industry, which fuels its tourism sector, is facing a major crisis. Workers who help keep the state's tourist attractions running can't afford to live anywhere near their workplaces. The dream of paradise is becoming increasingly out of reach for the people who keep it alive. Number 7, Washington. When people think of Washington, they often picture coffee, tech giants, and towering evergreen trees. But there's a hidden side to this state, one marked by a growing homelessness crisis. In Seattle, homelessness increased by 22% between 2022 and 2023. Entire neighborhoods are transforming into makeshift communities as people live on sidewalks, in cars, or in tents. Even those making $70,000 a year are struggling to make ends meet as rent prices soar. It's not just cities like Seattle that are being affected. Rural areas in Washington are also seeing rising homelessness, particularly among veterans and single mothers. Addiction, mental health issues, and inflation are contributing to the crisis. As the cold winter temperatures arrive, the unsheltered population faces life-threatening conditions. Despite efforts to address the issue through programs and shelters, the crisis continues to deepen, leaving many behind. Number 6. Massachusetts. Massachusetts has long been associated with opportunity, boasting elite universities, a booming biotech sector, and rich history. But a darker truth is emerging. In 2023, Massachusetts saw over 7,500 families living in emergency shelters or temporary housing. Many of these families are working parents, doing everything right but still finding themselves on the streets. The cause? Sky-high housing costs, tight rental markets, and limited space. In Boston, median rent is now over $3,000 a month, and vacancies are rare. The state is also grappling with an influx of migrant families, further straining the already overburdened shelter system. Families are being housed in motels, gymnasiums, and even college dorms during off-seasons. Massachusetts' brutal winters make survival even harder for those without stable shelter, turning the crisis into a life-threatening situation for many. Number 5. Hawaii. Hawaii may be the ultimate paradise for tourists, but for many locals, it's a struggle to survive. With the highest rate of homelessness per capita in the U.S., Hawaii has a serious problem. In 2023, the deadliest wildfire in over a century hit Maui, displacing thousands and destroying entire communities. Many of those affected were already living on the edge, and the disaster pushed them over. Tourism has bounced back, but the workers who clean the rooms and serve drinks at the resorts have nowhere to live. Hawaii's high cost of living is pricing out locals, while low-wage workers are forced to live in substandard conditions. As the tourism industry booms, many of the workers who keep it running are left without the resources to survive. Number 4. Illinois. Illinois is a state known for its vibrant culture, iconic skyline, and rich jazz history. But behind the facade, there's a growing crisis. In 2023, Chicago saw family homelessness rise by nearly 30%. Entire neighborhoods are changing as rents soar and wages stagnate. It's a crisis that extends beyond the city, affecting small towns across the state. As manufacturing jobs disappear and affordable housing becomes scarce, many residents are left with few options. Illinois' brutal winters make the situation even more dire. Families without stable shelter face life-threatening conditions, and the state's shelter system is overwhelmed. Adding to the strain are the thousands of migrants arriving in the state, further stretching the already thin resources. Number 3. Texas. Texas, a state known for its booming economy and big dreams, is facing a hidden crisis. While some cities, like Dallas, have reported a decrease in homelessness, other areas of the state are seeing alarming increases. Houston is experiencing record demand for shelter, while Austin has large tent communities along highways. The state's growing homeless population is a direct result of skyrocketing rents, vanishing affordable housing, and rising poverty rates. One of the most alarming trends in Texas is the increase in homelessness among youth, particularly those aging out of foster care or fleeing unsafe environments. As the state grows and attracts more people, the cracks in the system are widening, and more people are falling through them. Number 2. Oregon. Oregon's stunning natural beauty and laid-back vibe mask a growing crisis. The state now has one of the highest rates of homelessness in the U.S., with nearly 70% of its homeless population living outdoors or in vehicles. Portland, once known for its creativity and vibrant neighborhoods, is now struggling with large encampments and rising public tension. Rural areas are also feeling the pressure as affordable housing becomes increasingly scarce. Oregon's mental health system is struggling to keep up with demand, and soaring rents are pushing more people into homelessness. The state's cold, wet winters make survival even harder for those without shelter, turning the crisis into a daily battle for survival. Number 1, Colorado. Colorado, known for its snow-capped mountains and fresh air, is now one of the hardest-hit states by the homelessness crisis. In 2023, Denver saw a 31% increase in homelessness. The state's high cost of living, skyrocketing housing prices, and lack of mental health support are pushing more people out of their homes. Even full-time workers are finding it impossible to afford rent, and the housing market is out of reach for many. The problem extends to mountain towns like Aspen and Vail, where locals are being priced out by wealthy outsiders. Service workers are forced to commute long distances or sleep in their cars. The dream of living in the Rockies has become a struggle to stay warm and fed. Across the U.S., from sun-soaked beaches to snowy peaks, the homelessness crisis is real, and it's deepening. The states that once symbolized the American dream are now warning signs of a broken system. This is a national crisis that demands attention. The stories of the people who are slipping through the cracks deserve to be told. If this content opened your eyes, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, we can keep digging deeper into the issues that matter and shed light on the stories that need to be heard.